Tonight, Port Pirie Police clamping down on driver distraction across the region. And Broken Hill's drive-through coronavirus testing clinic opens.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening, everyone. It's been a busy time for York Mid-North Police, with driver distraction on local roads and highways now a big focus of their upcoming patrols. They've also made an arrest following a major drug raid in the region.
Last year, 46 lives were lost on South Australia's roads due to driver distraction.
And in 2020, we've already seen 24 lives lost with distraction a contributing factor.
Now, York Mid-North Police say enough is enough.
Now more than ever, I understand that people are relying on mobile phones to contact loved ones, but people need to be reminded that that phone call, that video chat or that Facebook message, that can wait until you're not behind the wheel. It's not worth taking the gamble with your life.
It's not just mobile phones that will be targeted, with any sort of distraction considered an offence.
So social media interaction or any other behaviours that might lead to inattention on the road. Authorities
warn motorists will face hefty fines if caught.
Consequences of using your mobile phone while driving are significant, and they can be even higher than your current phone bill.
Meanwhile, the battle against drugs continues. Port Pirie Police arresting a third person, a 37-year-old Risdon Park woman, early this morning in regards to an ongoing investigation.
Seized a substantial amount of methamphetamine, ecstasy and cash, and have previously arrested a man from Risdon Park and another man from Solomon Town.
She has been charged with trafficking a controlled drug. Police allege the woman assisted the other 2 men by sourcing customers for them.
It's imperative that members of the community report any suspicious behaviour to Crime Stoppers or to the police, so we continue to take action against drug traffickers in our township.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A 54-year-old wireless Stewart man will be facing court after allegedly driving over 7 times the limit on Bastien Crescent last night. Just after 8:30, patrols stopped the vehicle, where the driver allegedly recorded a blood alcohol reading of .339. The man lost his licence on the spot for 12 months and will appear in court at a later date. And a driver is facing a raft of charges after being caught speeding near Port Neal yesterday. Police stopped a vehicle on the Lincoln Highway after the driver was caught travelling 126 in a 110 zone. The 28-year-old man also allegedly returned a positive result to cannabis and methamphetamine, with further checks revealing his driver's licence was cancelled. He was issued an expiation notice, with his results sent for forensic analysis. An Aboriginal elder who was arrested late last week has been allowed back into his community. Malcolm Mackenzie spent 4 nights in isolation after being arrested during a protest in Davenport.
It was here that Malcolm Mackenzie was arrested for disorderly behaviour. He's now back home, released from his forced isolation at the Shoreline Caravan Park on the 4th of May.
Then I was asked to come back here on the 5th to help the police sign up to why they allowed me to come out.
He says he's glad he's back in his community.
The voiceless Davenport community give me the biggest cheer ever. It's been good. I've been getting heaps of phone calls.
Although things aren't back to normal, Malcolm is hopeful his community can move forward from the lockdown situation.
We can sit down and work together. Yesterday's yesterday, tomorrow's a brighter day for all of us.
The elder calling for an agreement that'll allow residents to still have some freedom.
I reckon there's going to be a better result. You'll see community members going into town, purchasing this and coming straight back. Like me, they can have a plan for me and my wife, or my wife going to town, do your shopping, or whatever, she get it and back again.
The Aboriginal Affairs and Reconciliation Division declined to comment. The Davenport Community Council CEO was also contacted for comment. Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A drive-in coronavirus screening and testing clinic opened in Broken Hill today. The Far West Local Health District saying the station is another way the organisation can increase its testing capabilities.
Drive in for a check-up.
A new initiative
It is designed to really encourage more testing in the community in order to maintain our current success rate within the region.
Instead of visiting the city's COVID-19 clinic at the local hospital, the new setup makes it more convenient for locals to be screened and tested for coronavirus. Today's opening day seeing dozens of concerned residents visit.
There'll be someone coming in and doing the initial screening. So that's really asking questions about whether in fact they have any symptoms, cough, sore throat, fever.
Any member of the public is welcome to be screened for COVID-19 if they have been unwell or have any symptoms. Nearly 700 coronavirus tests have been conducted across the Far West Health District, with more than 6,000 screenings completed.
Sometimes you might have a niggling cough where you might think, look, it takes too long to actually see a GP or go to the clinic. This is really a very convenient way of just popping in. It takes no more than a few minutes, really, to get tested.
The drive-through clinic can be found in the Musicians Club car park. Mr Agus thanking the venue and City Council with helping to set it up. Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, local playgrounds set for a comprehensive clean ahead of reopening, and rate relief on the way for Port Pirie. Welcome back. South Australia will begin to emerge from its COVID-19 hibernation this week, with playgrounds and skate parks reopening. Councils will now begin strict cleaning measures on local equipment in a bid to keep families safe.
The first taste of returning to normality. South Australian playgrounds and skate parks reopened, but there's a catch.
So long as we maintain a good cleaning regime from the council point of view, and also so that people can keep their social distancing.
Port Lincoln Council was on the forefront of shutting down outdoor areas before restrictions officially came in, trying to limit the spread of COVID-19.
We were following guidelines that we thought were going to be in place. We were only a little bit in front of the rest of the state.
Whyalla residents will have to wait a little while longer before they can access their playgrounds, with the council undertaking a safety inspection of all 27 areas. Despite the easing of restrictions, health officials say playgrounds will be capped at 10 people.
If we can maintain that, then there's a possibility that we can stage gradually through to a more open environment than what we've had now.
More lockdowns are likely to be lifted on Monday, including regional travel and easing funeral restrictions. Port Lincoln's mayor says he's itching to welcome back visitors, but warns there's still a risk.
If we start to open up and the restrictions are relaxed and we start to have interaction again, and then we find evidence that there's been reinfection, then we have to start going into lockup again.
Nathan Rector, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Port Pirie's council has become the latest to offer rate relief, scrapping late fees during the coronavirus pandemic. Business Port Pirie members supporting the move, saying current conditions are hurting the local economy.
Businesses in Port Pirie have suffered a hefty blow to the hip pocket as shops temporarily closed their doors, but council is now trying to ease the burden.
Will not be fining anybody for late payment and all that sort of stuff through this first quarter. Gives us an opportunity to work out, what level of hardship we need to apply to.
Fourth quarter payments are technically due now, but those who can't pay their way have until end of June.
We've been paying within 30 days of invoice, which is about 91% of them are getting paid early. So we're trying to do our little bit.
Business Port Pirie say they've been working closely with council members, trying to get the best deal possible for ratepayers.
We're thankful that council are actually looking to try and support businesses in this time. I understand it's, in some cases, for some, it's probably not enough.
The support may not end there, with council to discuss extra support options at its next meeting.
They're having another meeting to see whether or not there's any other way that they can support business. So we welcome that.
Concerned business owners are urged to get in contact with Business Port Pirie.
Approach us if it's a business, and we'll approach council on their behalf. That's what we're there for.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Port Lincoln police are on the hunt for a tuna thief after recent reports fish had been stolen from local pens. Tuna farmers have reported finding several dead southern bluefin tuna with gaff injuries when checking the areas. Investigators believe the farms located east of Boston Island are being raided at night. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact Crime Stoppers. Wyala's Westland Shopping Centre was evacuated late yesterday afternoon after a fire alarm was activated. Local fire crews quickly rushing to the scene just before 5 o'clock. On entering the building, they discovered there were no signs of a blaze, remaining at the scene for less than half an hour. The incident forcing shoppers into the car park while the centre was checked. Authorities are continuing to investigate why the alarm went off. Stay with us. A new community fund opened for Kimber and Hawker residents. And the Pro Heart Art Prize goes online. Applications for 2 programs are now open to communities impacted by the nuclear waste facility decision. Towns around Kimber and Wallabedina Station can now apply for grants, ranging from $5,000 up to $1 million.
Sites in the Kimber and Hawker regions were shortlisted to host the controversial National Nuclear Waste Site. Their participation is now being rewarded through a multi-million-dollar fund.
Clubs, companies, councils can all bid into the process. It'll go through a departmental vetting and be considered by a local committee as well.
Applications have now opened, with locals encouraged to submit ideas.
I hope that both of these communities now will really take the opportunity to have a look at perhaps some of the bigger and longer term things they can do within. So we'll see what those nominations look like.
The Kimber Council says it's already looking to submit projects, with improved medical care top of their list.
And will help us secure GPs to our town and a confirmed medical supply to our community for the longer term. So, hopefully there's some real long-term benefits that can come out of the projects that are put in for this program.
The council governing the Hawker region also ready to propose ideas.
Council's certainly done a reasonable amount of work on looking at the sorts of opportunities we might be able to submit to that program, and we'll get the ball rolling on that as soon as we can.
Applications close on August 11. Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Entry numbers for the 2020 Pro Heart Outback Art Prize look set to break the record for a 3rd consecutive year. The Broken Hill Regional Art Gallery saying the submission process has moved online due to coronavirus.
It's the Silver City's most expensive arts competition, and it's still attracting plenty of attention. Entries are currently open for this year's Pro Heart Outback Art Prize, with the closing day at the end of the month. Due to COVID-19, submissions must be made digitally, but that hasn't stopped them from rolling in.
There's still a month to go for us to accept entries at this stage, and we're actually seeing the numbers are tracking a lot better than what we've seen in previous years, so we're on course to again beat the record.
Jade says coronavirus is giving artists more opportunity to enter works. An artist can take photos, videos or even audio of their entry and send it in. The gallery saying the first round of judging will be conducted online.
The judging process at this stage really doesn't take on a different form other than us sitting in a room together to judge it. We'll be utilising technology to do this via video conferencing.
Organisers also confirming a date for the annual finalist exhibition has yet to be decided.
At this stage, we're obviously exploring all the different options of how we can deliver that, because regardless of the situation that's happening, we want this exhibition to go ahead. We want the artists to have the exposure.
Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A Port Lincoln author has scored a bestseller with her book about the tips and tricks to look after mental health during COVID-19. The quick read proving a popular publication, with the book being shared across the globe.
A user's guide to mental health during self-isolation.
How to overcome the COVID anxiety. It's a bit of a crisis at the moment.
Natasha Ewan's latest book, an instant bestseller, the 15-page quick read being read across the globe.
It's been selling well in Japan, weirdly, France, Europe, America. Yeah, it's been really fantastic.
The book debunking the big term of enlightenment, also providing shortcuts to find peace.
Anyone can do it, and I call it becoming unicorns, because unicorns are rare creatures. And, you know, the enlightened person is supposedly a rare creature.
Using breathing techniques, mindfulness exercises and a bit of humour, Natasha says the book can help create a positive change to your thinking.
Pretty much everyone I knew suffering in some way from isolation or having someone work on the front line, and I wanted to do something to help.
You can find the book online at e-reader Kobo.
I wrote it really quickly and got it out really quickly and cheaply so that anyone can have access to some peace right now.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. We check the region's fuel prices. And we'll have the weather details with Britt. Hello again. Time to check how things are shaping at the petrol pump this week. Here's Patrick Reinke with Fuel Watch.
For the first time in a while, some towns and cities have actually seen an increase in prices. Starting with unleaded, and Port Lincoln is now paying under $1, while also enjoying a 7-cent reduction in its prices, the Steel City falling to $1.04. Port Augusta is the last Spencer Gulf town to leave the teens, falling to $1.09. Port Pirie has a red arrow this week, but the change has only been minor. Kadeena's title as cheapest in the Gulf is in danger with a 3-cent spike, bringing them closer to $1 a litre. Broken Hill remains most expensive of all, despite no change in our average this week. And Adelaide is no longer the cheapest, rocketing from 84 cents to 96. Turning to diesel now, Port Lincoln sits at $1.14, Whyalla is down 2 cents, Port Augusta is a little more expensive, Port Pirie is still in the 120s. Kadeena is doing well, hovering at just $1.09, meanwhile Broken Hill is at $1.25. Adelaide observing a small decline to join Kadeena on $1.09. Finishing off with Autogas, and Whyalla, Broken Hill and Kadeena are all down, elsewhere remains the same, the prices treading water. Now remember that these prices are the regional averages and they do not reflect any one particular outlet. And if you do find a spot that does sell unleaded, auto gas or diesel for cheaper, be sure to let us know on our Facebook page.
Time now for a quick check of the day's finance news. It was mostly red across the board. Wesfarmers was down, as was Bank SA owner Westpac and South Australian miner Oz Minerals. Airline Regional Express dropped nearly 2%, while Iron Road also fell. Santos, however, bucked the trend. And the All Ords and the ASX 200 were both down by less than 0.5%. And time to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Britt.
Thanks, John, and good evening. Strong winds battered the region today, with maximum temperatures reaching the mid-20s in some parts. Whyalla and Port Lincoln both recorded tops of 23 degrees this afternoon, Kadeena 22. Taking a look around the grounds, 24 was the region's high at Port Augusta. Woodner and Broken Hill also reached 23, Cleve 22, Port Pirie and Coffin Bay both with tops of 21 degrees. A broad high-pressure system and dry air mass to our north kept those skies mostly clear, with a jet stream bringing bright cloud across the Spencer Gulf ahead of that gusty cold front. Moving along to tomorrow now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Northerly winds at 20 to 30 knots, decreasing to 15 or so in the afternoon before increasing to 30 knots again in the evening. Seas up to 2.5 metres. A shower or two at Port Lincoln tomorrow with particularly strong winds in the morning, looking at a top of 21 degrees. Cleve also 21 with a slight chance of a morning shower, otherwise partly cloudy with northerly winds reaching up to 50 kilometres an hour in the morning. Woodner with a 40% chance of showers likely to be early on, 22 the top there. Whyalla mostly sunny with winds easing through the day, 23 the high. Mostly sunny at Port Augusta with a top of 25 degrees, Kadeena morning showers and 22. Strong winds through the morning at Port Pirie, easing into the afternoon, partly cloudy with a top of 23. Clare with similar conditions but a top of just 19 degrees. Broken Hill 26, also expecting strong winds. Taking a quick look ahead to the end of the week now, with showers expected about the west coast and the York and lower air peninsulas on Friday. Elsewhere mostly fine, sunny conditions forecast for Broken Hill. Kicking off the weekend with a fine and partly cloudy Saturday, apart from showers about the mid-north and York Peninsula districts. Maximum temperatures in the late teens. Much the same on Sunday, showers forecast about the lower air peninsula, York Peninsula and mid-north, but looking fine elsewhere. And John, That's the forecast.
Thanks, Britt. And that's the local news this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later and we'll be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. On behalf of the team, have a great evening. Good night.